we got nothing but Visions. Visions Season 2. Alright, so literally, you take two of my greatest interests, two of my greatest loves. You got Star Wars, and you got anime. You put them together, and you got Star Wars anime. You literally have Visions, and I am such a fan of the first season of Visions. It really was different from what I was expecting, and I'm sorry, but to me, it's all canon. Yeah, I know. Visions is actually not canon, but what I really like about Visions is just the different art styles it takes. Now, granted, not all of Visions, some of Visions was really excellent. So others, well, the story was kind of like okay, but something that I really found interesting about was just little adventures taking place within the Star Wars universe. Not canon. We don't have to worry about sticking to the canon verse of Star Wars. No, we could actually just tell a complete, interesting one-off story that just kind of celebrates what Star Wars is at the same time, celebrates the magnificent, the amazing art that comes out of Japan. Japanese animation, I'm a huge fan of Japanese animation. I'm really into Naruto, My Hero Academia, I used to be into. Black Clover, I can't wait for the new season of that to come out, especially the movie on Netflix. And there's so many anime that I really like. Steins Gate, another great anime. So, literally, we are taking the best studios of Japan, and giving them a chance to tell their story within the Star Wars universe. And it is absolutely fantastic, interesting, and I have to say this, the animation blew me out of the water when it came to the first season. So, now we get to Season 2. And that is going to be what this video. I literally reviewed every single episode in Season 1, and I am going to review every single episode in Season 2 as well, because I am that much of a Star Wars and anime fan. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? The first episode of Season 2. This was really interesting. So it was called The Sith, and what was about this Sith that you know, she was actually once a Sith student, and she actually found her way out of it, which is interesting. You know, you always hear of Jedi getting into Sith, or Jedi getting out of the Jedi Order and going into peace, but you never actually hear a story, at least not in canon, about a Sith that actually has found peace and is not trying to do evil anymore. And I really found this one really interesting. So here we have it starts out with this girl, and the story is pretty simple. She lives out in the middle of an outpost. She's out in the middle of nowhere, somewhere out there in the middle of the galaxy, and all she is trying to do is get past her past, find inner peace, and make her own way through the galaxy. But unfortunately, her past catches up with her when she gets an alert from a sensor that she has to go check. And when she checks it, it's actually her old master, her old Sith master, and his robotic guards. I was actually surprised that they were robots, but they were just droids. They were just droids. She takes out the droids pretty easily, but then she has to fight him. And something that they did that's really interesting is they did this, like, I don't know how to describe it, but you know, you have the visuals of it was really interesting. We have visually, like, Peace White. She's kind of an artist. She creates art through the Force almost, and it was just interesting because here she was able to like make like red or blue or yellow colors, you know, just colors of peace and brightness, but for some reason there was always a dark side to her that wanted to get out as well. And then we have the Sith, and then he comes in, and he is nothing but black and red, and then hers is like red, yellow, blue, white. She is starting to understand though that, and I actually she kind of reminds me of Ahsoka almost in many ways because of this, but she realizes that because she's a Sith, she can't just use dark or light. She wants to create peace. She wants to become a true Jedi. She's making her own choice, and she fights her Sith master, kills him. That would automatically make her now the Sith Lord, but that's not what she does. She is literally both. She's not a Jedi, but she has made her own inner peace. That's what the whole episode was, just her making her own inner peace. She uses both the light and the dark, not one or the other. It's part of her. I really found the whole thing really interesting, and the visuals. Now, let me tell you, the animation at first, it was kind of jarring for me to see, because that's not the type of animation that I typically watch. But it was really interesting art. The animation was really interesting. The art style was really great 3D almost animation. Like she was 3D animation, and trust me, whatever she worked with was 3D animation. But the background was all 2D animation. It looked like it was all flat. It looked like it was all 2D animation. So it was a really interesting contrast that I really enjoyed within the art style of the episode itself. It was a little jarring to see. I had to get used to it, but after sitting here and watching her for about maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, and the episode is only maybe 12 minutes long. So after like the first 3 or 4 minutes, you just get used to the art style, and it was fantastic. I really liked the first episode of season 2 of boy, what am I talking about? Oh boy, I'm talking about Star Wars Visions, Season 2. Boy, I'm so happy that Season 2 is out, guys. Literally. This is me going off script right now. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't have a script in front of me, but I have notes that I always want to talk about when it comes to these videos. This is me going off of my notes. Literally, I'm so happy that we are getting Season 2 of the Star Wars Visions. I enjoyed the first season immensely, and the second season so far with this first episode, it was an interesting take. I really enjoyed the art style, and it was a nice little story. I would actually, again, it's another case, just like a lot with the Season 1 episodes. I would really like to see her story actually spread out. I would love to see a story about this character, because they made her a really interesting character. She is literally a Sith Lord trying to get past her past of being a Sith Lord and just trying to find inner peace. And I enjoyed the first episode. I really did. With that said, guys, let me know what you guys thought about the first episode of Season 2 of Star Wars Visions down in the comments below. And I am going to... boy. I'm gonna go watch episode 2. Bye!
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.